What's up, legends? We
We're live.
are live. Oh, that's a cracking thumbnail
Is it?
of of me looking like I'm half asleep.
Oh, no,
All good.
nothing
How
different.
good? How good? Welcome, everybody. It is. We're a little bit late this morning. It's 7 minutes past 9. Richie and I were just getting organised last minute, and this show I'm actually quite excited about. Although it's going to be a little bit of um, a head test. I was going to swear, but I shouldn't swear online because we've had a little bit of confusion off the back of our nutrition series last week in regard to calculating protein, and it's some really good questions that we should cover today. That we sort of decided last minute that we would address, and it is about a little bit of confusion in the comments on YouTube coming in, both from our YouTube tribe and our UMS online coaching tribe, about whether dietary protein consumption should change for an overweight person or a lean person who are the same weight. And it's a really good question, frankly. And we just thought, heck, we'll just unpack this online and make a show of it so that everyone can learn, as opposed to keeping the info inside the group. And so we're not going to sort of mention any names or anything like that of the except for the people that are asking the questions in the public forum. Before I do, um, give some love to Dave Clark for saying hi, and Christy Lovejoy. They are in the UMS Movement Mastermind group. If you are catching this live stream on YouTube or the replay on YouTube, I always like to urge you to jump over and join the UMS Movement Mastermind. There's three very good reasons why. One is that you just get to interact with us on a slightly higher level because you can post videos of yourself, and that really helps us if you're asking a question that's related to an injury or training so that we can see what's going on. We can't do that on YouTube. Second is you get access to our two free trainings. One is for our 20-minute flexibility routine. The other is for our 10-minute upper and lower body warm-ups, UMS warm-ups to prepare you for working out. And third is you get the opportunity to join RAD on the 5-day flexibility challenge. We've got one going live in 2 weeks, just under 2 weeks' time. It is a live Zoom style coaching. There's 3 live coaching sessions, and you'll go through a daily flexibility routine. And the idea is to give you a breakthrough in your training over 5 days. It's an amazing course. So do that. If you're not going to do that, then at a minimum, do us a favor and hit that like button. It does really help us. And if you are on YouTube, I can see we got some people watching live. Let us know who you are. We'll send you some love. Anyway, let's dive in. So I'm just going to start by reading this question, and unfortunately, we are going to be a little bit late for our coaching group today, but hopefully they'll forgive us because this is really important. So the question came from 2 people, and that's why I wanted to address it. 78 Divalicious. My God, I can't even pronounce that. It's the avatar. 3 days ago, hi Yanni. With regards to protein intake, does it matter how you're built? Question mark. For example, should someone who weighs 200 pounds and is 40% body fat eat a different amount of protein than someone with the same weight but is only 15% body fat? It's a really good question. And I've jumped in and said, great question. No, it makes no difference. Here's why. Protein has the added benefit of having a high thermal effect, which is important. Allow me to explain. In addition to resting metabolic rate, or the acronym RMR, and non-exercise energy thermogenesis, referred to as NEAT, N-E-E-T, our bodies also burn energy, calories, through the metabolism process itself. This process is referred to as the thermal effect of food, TEF, and protein has the highest TEF because it's harder to metabolize. So by consuming your optimal dose of dietary protein, now our optimal dose that we recommend is errs on the higher side, but this is the reason why. Dietary protein to support healthy muscle tissue and muscle strength, you're also burning more energy, aiding in the improvement of body composition, which is a reduction of fat mass and an increase of muscle mass. So one might argue it's even more important for the fatter individual or the overweight individual to meet their dietary protein needs based on our calculations than a lean person. Um, and I've just said there, let me know if this doesn't make any sense. Now, off the back of that, we had a comment from one of our tribe members who has said it doesn't make sense because if someone is trying to lose weight by reducing their total calories, maintaining enough protein will blow out their calorie requirements. Now, I've done this calculation, and Richie should be able to bring this up. Now, this is using the exact guidelines that we provide our members. We have two nutrition interventions. One is called our 6-week peak performance, which keeps it real simple. There's only really 3 steps. One, calculate how many, or we'll figure out your goal, calculate how many calories you need to consume in a day to achieve that goal, either increasing and creating a calorie surplus to gain muscle, or decreasing, creating a calorie deficit to lose fat. Then calculate your protein requirements, and then build your diet, basing it around those two numbers and taking into consideration exercise volume, which we assume is 4 days a week for that program because that's the prescription we give them. So it just makes it quite simple. Now, Richie, I don't know if you can bring up the the matrix calculations that I
Yeah.
created there. If you could just bring that up on the screen, and I'll talk everyone through how I got these. You might have to zoom in so that we can see the numbers there. I don't know if you can. You can do that. You can just command. Yeah, that's it. Go in a little bigger for me. Yeah, good. That's better. Okay, so what we've got here on the very left is the body weight in question, which is 192 pounds, 192.62 pounds. And then I've created 3 scenarios here using our intervention, which we take for general weight loss, we take the starting weight and times it by either 10, 11, or 12. And it really depends on whether you want to do this very gently or a little bit more extreme. And then for extreme weight loss, we times it by 7, 8, or 9. Now, I've given you a calculation, the 1,540 calories, 1,540 calories a day is times by 8. The 1,733 calories is times by 9, and the 1,926 is obviously times by 10, okay, which would be a more modest weight loss target. Now, the protein is very easy to calculate because we times it by to calculate dietary protein, you basically times it by the times it by 10. Is that right? Sorry, I'm just reading my notes here. I don't do public math very well. Okay. 1. So you times it by 1. Your body weight times 1 is roughly what you need to eat in a day for protein. So very easily, 192 pounds becomes 192 grams of protein. Now, we use a very, very easy calculation and this is remarkably accurate. 192 pounds. Where have you gone, Richard?
Sorry,
I've
my bad. I
lost
was just checking YouTube.
Okay.
I was sharing the screen. Rookie.
You threw me. 192 grams of protein becomes 192 pounds of 1.92 pounds of lean meat. This is a really, really amazing sort of amazingly accurate goal. It's really, really, really simple. So this means that the final number we need is calories per pound of lean meat. I would like to calculate how many calories that is going to be. Now, we actually round this up. There is actually 4 calories let me just quickly figure this out.
4 calories in protein per gram
Yeah,
of protein.
4 calories per gram of protein, but we rounded up to 5 because it's near impossible to get a gram of protein without some fat or carbohydrate. And so it's easier to round it up a little bit to just cover that. You know, you're never going to eat 100% unless you're consuming like a protein supplement, like a whey protein or isolate. It's very hard to just have protein. You're always going to have a little bit of something else in there. If you're eating lean meat, even the leanest meat has a little bit of fat in it. And so we rounded up to 5. And so we times the meat, the lean meat, the body, the 192.62 times 5 to get how many calories out of the protein. And so this is the final step, and it's actually the step that we didn't cover last week in the show, which I think has made it confusing for people. And so we get 963.1 grams of 963.1 calories is going to be the calories you're consuming from your protein. So now, if we let's take the middle example there, okay? And we're going to say, I'm just going to add in here remaining kcals. Right, and this should update in Richard's as well because we're working in Google Docs. And now we're just going to take the middle minus the calories of protein, and we get 770 remaining calories. And those calories are, arguably, for the purposes of this discussion, we don't really care where they come from. They're going to come from fats and carbohydrates. And really, it comes down to what diet you prefer. Do you prefer a higher carbohydrate? There's only one instance where we would make the recommendation here for you. And that is if you have insulin resistance. So if you go to the doctor and you get blood pathology done, and you do a fasting blood test and it shows that you've got insulin resistance, then we would recommend that you have a lower carbohydrate intervention to start with to fix that. But other than that, if you haven't gone and had the bloods done, you don't want to assume that that's the case. Then we would recommend that you just balance it and even swap between. It's a great exercise to have high fat days and higher carb low fat days, because what that does is it exercises metabolic flexibility. So it actually trains your body to become more flexible and be able to switch between glycogen and triglycerides as your primary fuel source. I know we're getting a little bit more complicated there, but realistically, where you get that remaining 770.5 calories from is it's better to do it on a diet that you're kind of used to, that you're going to struggle less with, because any sort of diet intervention is going to feel a little bit uncomfortable. There's going to be a transition phase. And anyone who says otherwise is feeding you BS. When you intervene with a diet and you make changes to that diet, the more radical, the harder it is. We've got a plethora of good research to show this. The more radical, the harder it is to follow, the less likely you are to adhere to it. So what we recommend you do, once you calculate your protein and your calories and then build your diet, you now know how many calories from food protein you're allowed and you're going to get, and then how many calories you can get from the rest of your food. Choose stuff that you're kind of already used to, which will be easier to adhere to. You'll get less food cravings. I don't recommend that someone who's grown up on cereals and sandwiches try doing a keto diet, to lose weight. The chances of success are highly unlikely. You'll end up with such severe food cravings that you'll end up just eating way too much food calories through the fats and the protein. And so I think that's really, I know you're probably thinking, no, and there'll still be people overwhelmed. That's not as simple as you make it out to be. And hey, if we get more questions and comments, I will happily continue talking about this. I will happily build someone else's diet out live if you want me to, and show you how to do this. Because at the end of the day, all you need to do from there is figure out what app you're going to use to track this stuff and then get busy. And we recommend either Lane Norton and Holly Baxter's Carbon app. The Calorie King is another good one. And what was the last one, Richard? I always forget it.
Phenomena.
Chronometer. They're all great, and they all have. They're all very cost effective, and they're all really quite easy to use once you get set up. It's kind of like learning to use Netflix the first time. You sort of fumble around a bit, and then you get used to it, and then it's really easy. And all you'll need to do is buy yourself some food scales from Target, or what do you have in America? You have Target, you have Home Depot, whatever the big shopping
Walmart.
centers are. They cost a couple of dollars. Like, I think they're about $5. And just for the first couple of weeks, weigh your food as you're preparing it. And you'll do this as an exercise, and it's no different than learning how to lift weights in the gym. You have to learn. You have to have someone show you how to do it, and you have to practice a bit. And you got to, your form and technique is a little bit messy in the beginning, but you get better at it, and you start to get better at dealing with the DOMS, the delayed onset muscle soreness. Afterwards, you'll get better at dealing with the food cravings and hunger pains. You'll understand what they are and why they're there, and over time, you will achieve your desired body composition. And the only time that we recommend, that, yeah, maybe you need to get bloods done and things like that, blood tests done to cancel out or rule out anything like insulin resistance and other potential hurdles in your body is, if you've been overweight for a very, very long time, and you may want to just go and get some further tests done with your GP to make sure that there's nothing there that we need to deal with as well. That makes sense? Have I helped
Yeah.
people?
I think that's all we've got time for, Yanni.
So IVTT saying, hey, Yanni, kangaroo has less than 2% fat and is cheaper than beef. Yeah, absolutely. Look, game meats are always better than farmed meats. There's many reasons why. Buffalo, bison are also really, really good. Yeah. Anyway, we can go into what good sources of protein are on another show. Ivy? Take care, everybody. I hope that's given you guys some value. I hope that helps some people clear up some confusion. And yeah, keep the questions coming. We love you guys asking good questions. We'll see you tomorrow.
You guys.